Right, so this time we're going to do something a little bit different. First of all, we are trying out a new version of Char Belcher, or sorry, of the Ruby Storm deck, running the Char Belcher package, of just playing all MDFCs. It fits pretty well into this deck already. It kind of like makes your Ral ultimate better, that you have like more stuff to hit, or like it's harder to flood out when like your lands are also sometimes action. Um, Deciding to play 3 Bridgeworks battle then rather than the full 4 copies of Russian Inspiration just to have more untapped lands. And this seemed like the best one of the green ones. But yeah, basically just adopting this, we have like 4 copies of Strike It Rich to help with the Chat Belcher thing, ramping that one out. And Bergie is getting another shot, another chance because of the Strike It Rich. So yeah, that's the idea here. The issue with this version is that you can't splash any colors for sideboard cards, so we're just playing Aberrate, Blood Moons, and Shattering Sprees on top of the tutor package. The tutor package also includes Ironcrag Feed, so that Wish can get Ironcrag Feed and basically turn into a ritual for the Chat Belcher, like in case you already have a medallion in play that turns your 5 mana into 7 mana, and makes the combo kill very easy, very easy with this version. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting approach, and we'll see how this works out against Eldrazi Tron. So I'm just checking the challenge winning list from, well, when you're watching this a few weeks ago. Yeah, it might be a bit outdated, but yeah, this is the 4 copies of Trinisphere main deck Eldrazi list, and then some other nonsense. And so it seems like this is like the only card that really matters. But yeah, we're playing the Tron lands and Hugin's Labyrinth being super key in running this one out turn 2, which actually is super effective. And I'm gonna be playing from the Eldrazi side, so let's see how these games go. And so something very interesting is that like normally Trinisphere is like basically GG for the Ruby Storm version, or for the Ruby Storm deck. But if you have Char Belcher, that's like another way that you could beat the Trinisphere. And that means that like this deck also has to have a Karn. Now I do have a Trinisphere and a Karn, and I'm on the play, and I have a Dismember to like maybe prevent dying on turn 2. So I'm definitely gonna keep this hand here and just hope that I draw some lands and that I don't die to a Ruby on turn 2. So here's the Dragon Rich. That's always super scary when you're planning to not die turn 2. And yeah, I just play up my land here. Looks like I have Natural Tron, maybe. And Nathan is just trying to set up here. So I don't exactly know what he kept. If he kept a hand without a medallion or anything, that's like the issue with playing from the side, is that I don't get to like verify what's going on. This is also, I think, Nate's first time playing the Ruby Storm deck. But yeah, like he seems to be set up to like combo off next turn, but yeah, he doesn't quite realize that you might not have a next turn. Because if I keep a hand that goes like land, pass, I mean, I might have like either Natural Tron into Karn, or I have this Trinisphere here, which I do. And so yeah, now his only shot is to try and find a Chop Belcher, and I just play a Karn, and the game is over, because now he can't Chop Belcher, and I can just kill his treasure and he scoops. Worth noting in this version, if I'm not too careful with my Karn, it can die to Shadow Skull Smashing, and he could also accumulate 6 mana and technically kill it with Wish for Grape Shot, but that doesn't come up as much. I think the Shadow Skull Smashing is going to be fairly the more common way you deal with a Karn. So that's just worth noting, but obviously I have a backup Karn, and yeah. Anyways, the Karn prevents the Trap Belcher from being activated and seals the deal here. So let's see game 2. So I'm going to be on the draw here, and mulliganing is going to be very important post-board. So in this like very first game here, we didn't have Shattering Spree in the sideboard of the Belcher deck, so he doesn't have access to that, but we very quickly realized we should add it. Anyways, I have turn 3 Tron, and I have a Trinisphere here, and I have the Devourer of Destiny, which can try and look for a Labyrinth. So I'm going to keep this hand and do the Labyrinth trigger. And we see another Strike Rich here, always scary. So let's resolve the Devourer of Destiny. And I see these cards. I don't want any of them, so I go to click on all 4. And I realize that's not how this card is worded. You have to click no or click on the card that you want. I want none of these cards, right? Chalice of the Void doesn't do very much against Storm. You have to put it, I mean, if you put it on 2, it's very good, but it's like, it's a slow card against Storm. And none of the other ones really like do anything. I'm just looking for the Labyrinth. So I'm, yeah, I accidentally click on the Chalice, and that means I'm just gonna like have a dead draw this turn off a Chalice. But we play out our map, and we just continue as planned here. And so Nate is thinking about whether to go off or not, decides that like he's not gonna risk it because, you know, I'm not gonna have I'm probably not gonna have a Trini Sphere this turn, but unfortunately for him, I am super lucky and draw the Ugin's Labyrinth here. So it's interesting. Like if he could have gone off, he had to get pretty lucky. I think. I think he had like Manamorphose into like a Wrench Resolve and had to hit a Ritual in his top 3. I think it was something like that his hand was. So like not super likely to get there. But yeah. Anyway, so the misclick luckily did matter. I get to play Trini Sphere, and this also means that I can just follow it up immediately with a Karn if he has the Job Belcher, and if he doesn't have the Job Belcher, I can put Chalice on too to protect myself from a lot of stuff. And yeah, he just like is trying to dig for the Job Belcher, and yeah, I just get to slam down the Chalice and lock out the game. Like he has 3 copies of a Braid in his sideboard, which are going to be locked out. Yeah, he plays the Job Belcher, I play a Karn, and the game is over. He no longer has avenues to win the game. So yeah, we change the sideboard, putting 3 copies of Shattering Spree, and then we go next. So in this next match here, I also win the die roll. And we mulligan the first hand, I guess, because it didn't do much. So this hand has like not very much actually. Like so it looks like, you know, an early Karn, but like there's nothing for the Labyrinth, and a Karn doesn't actually do anything by itself in this matchup. You can get a so much crypt, but they can easily combo around that, especially with the Chap Belcher. Or I guess they can't Chap Belcher with Contemplate. But they can like, you know, with flipping Rel, they can get around the so much crypt pretty easily. So also gonna mulligan this hand, and now we have a turn 2 Tree Sphere on the play, so we're gonna keep this. And yeah, that's basically like what you're trying to do from the Eldrazi side. Just mull, try and hit an early Tree Sphere. And I'm going to keep the Cosmetics commands, as that card can at least cycle or kill a Rel or something. Yeah, we're gonna just deploy this Tree Sphere here, and that means that Nate can't play anything turn 2, and he's just locked out of the game. But the issue is, from my side, is that I have no pressure here. So I'm going to like use the Coslex command to yes, I'm going to use the Coslex command here to just make a Scion and draw a card, and then I can funnel that Scion into this Chalice on 2. So that locks out his options even more. He can't wish for anything relevant. We were talking about it would actually be very nice to have a land in the sideboard. I think maybe, yeah, I guess the version I showed you it didn't have a land, but land in the sideboard would be very important here so that he could wish for a land and then be able to play the Chop Belcher. And he might actually be able to win the game here if he can do that. But he's missing on land drops here, and he can't look for them. And he just scoops. His hand is all 2-drops here, so he doesn't even have the Chop Belcher. And yeah, I don't know. I think this is a bit of a premature scoop because I actually like it's gonna take me a while before I assemble something. I can go like Expedition map, but I have to pay 3 mana for it. And then next turn I can crack the map to get Ursa Saga, and then next turn I can start making constructs and start chaining the sagas. So you can see it's like kind of a slow process. But you know, he might have like, I don't know, like 4 more turns, and yeah, that might be enough to draw land plus Belcher. And if he does, he wins the game. So I don't know, bit of a premature scoop there. Anyhow, let's see how this game 2 unfolds. Now he gets the board in Shattering Spree, and I'm gonna be on the draw. So I do have a Labyrinth with the Devour of Destiny, and kind of an early Karn. Like maybe the Coslex command can disrupt them somewhat. It's like not the best hand, but Devourer trying to look for Trinisphere seems like a good bet, and at least like I can I have my mana acceleration set here, so I'm going to keep this hand. And let's see what I find of my Devourer. Whoops, yeah. So I just put all of these cards away. I figured out how to do it this time. Don't want any of them, and you're gonna draw a card. It's also very awkward that you have to keep really bad cards like All This Dust and Emrakul in your deck just so you can fuel your Labyrinths. They are not particularly good. Anyways, I do instead find an Ursus Mine so that I can develop Tron here. So I'm just gonna play out my map and pass. And he is just digging here, going Manamorphose into Reckless Impulse. The reason that he Manamorphoses now is to play around my Trinisphere turn 2. So that's like something he learned from previous interactions. It's still interesting that like that this is a keep. I mean, I wonder if like some of these games are just like a result of like Nate not being familiar with like how aggressively to mulligan with the Storm deck. Because I'm actually seeing very few turn 2 Rals and very few turn 2 Rubies. Now that I look at these again. But anyways, we're just gonna continue with our turn 3 Tron plan here. Something really funny about this list is that one of the lands that you get to play is the one that like kills a land and it controller may search for a basic, and then creatures can't block. And so that card is actually kind of a hate card against Tron. So yeah, that's kind of good. And anyways, instead he kept a Blood Moon hand. That's what's going on here. So yeah, now my Tron dreams are dead, and also my dreams of these two colorless cards are dead, and my dream of Ugin's Labyrinth. So I'm just gonna have to like search for a waste. Hope I draw my second waste, I guess. And yeah, I can't do anything. So we're just gonna have to wait here. Um, and now there's a Chop Belcher, so good thing we have a Karn at least, so that we can stop that. Now we drew a Trinisphere, so that's pretty huge as well. The issue with like, so I have to play Karn now because otherwise I just die to the Belcher. Also I'm going to like not, yeah, I'm not gonna like argue with Nate's keep here. If you had Blood Moon into Belcher, that's probably good enough to keep, yeah. But anyways, like, so I have to play the Karn out here and use that to stop the Belcher. That leaves me like unprotected for Storm things, and I'm gonna get a Liquid Metal Coating and see if I can like, stab away at his land so that next time I can go Coating plus Trinisphere, and hopefully it's gonna be hard enough for him to like, get out of that lock. He plays the Ral and starts to try and go off here. Finds Ritual. He has the Valakut Awakening he can play. He decides to flip it immediately. He hits a Wish that he can play. Oh, no. Ah, wait, hold on. This might be one of those where it just passes the turn. Yeah, as far as I remember, that's really awkward. This game ended up being super interesting, and he was very close to being able to kill me because of Shadow Skull Smashing, plus Ral flipping. So he could do stuff like, because he had an unflipped Ral, attacking my Karn next turn, and then he could Shadow Skull Smashing it for 1, flip the Ral, and then -2, get rid of the Karn, and then Char Belcher me. But I think he ended up being 1 mana short of that because the Trinisphere makes it so that Shadow Skull Smashing has to cost 3 mana. So he has 6 lands in play to do that, and he didn't quite get there. I think that's what happened. But yeah, anyways, we unfortunately can't see this really interesting replay because of this. But I think there's something to be said about first of all, the Blood Moon might not be better than whatever card it is replacing when you bring it in. It's like somewhat good against Ugin's Labyrinth, but damage might already have happened, and artifact destruction seems way more important. And the second thing is that like you're not necessarily safe. I mean, a Karn is a very flimsy way to deal with a Chop Belcher, especially when the Storm deck has like ways of storming out and killing. I think there was some lines where you could have wished for Grape Shot or something, and to just clear off the Karn. But the issue is that if he does that, and I have a second Karn, like he just spent all his resources and maybe didn't get anywhere. But yeah. Anyways, I wonder if like that is the line you have to take, and then you just happen to get punished by my specific hand, which has a lot of Karns. Because all you need to do really is get the Karn off the board, and then I just die to the Belcher, and I don't have an answer for the Belcher. So yeah, anyways, the game ends up being kind of scuffed. I draw my second waste, and I Devour of Destiny to kill the Blood Moon, and then I take over from there, is what ends up happening. It ends up being a very cool game, but sadly, you cannot see it. Alright, match number 3 here. So I'm on the draw now. I'm willing to choose to be on the draw to make that happen. And this hand is unplayable. And this is it's a natural Tron with Trinisphere. It's like not a good hand, but I think I'm gonna have to keep this and hope I don't die turn 3. Maybe the Chalice on 2 will save me. Stopping a Strike Rich at least. And yeah, so all Nathan needs to do here is to kill me on turn 3. He plays a turn 2 Rel, and yeah, hopefully that does it. But I think it might be another one of the games that is bugged and we don't get to see how it works. So yeah, he just plays a Dragon Rich just to flip the Rel. And plays a Belcher. But yeah, so like right now he's basically praying that I don't have a Karn here. And I don't. I just have Trinisphere and Chalice, and none of them do anything. I can always dust away the Rel, but the Chop Belcher here will just go off and clear away my face here. So yeah, that's a big advantage of Chop Belcher is that like if you have time, you don't need to do very much at all to make it work. You just like need to ramp it out so it's played a little bit earlier, and then have it survive, and then you kill the opponent. So it certainly adds like a nice aspect to the deck. Yeah, we get to see his entire deck list. So that's cool. Okay, let's see game 2 here. Yep, I have Ugin Labyrinth, Exciting Skid Escape Labyrinth. This is a card I bought it in over in Emrakul because I thought it was slightly better to cast, killing a Blood Moon or a Medallion. I also have Dismember, yeah. So this, but anyways, like you just have like turn 2 Trinity Sphere into play, so this should be good, even though we are post board and he actually has answers to it. And he goes to the classic Strike and Rich here. So another thing you can do with Cosmic's Command is that you can just cycle it. There's 2 mana, scry 0, draw a card, and make 0 tokens, and that's perfectly fine. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. Trying to see if I can find another 7 to put out of the second labyrinth, so I can really develop my mana. But anyways, we are going to just apply the Trinisphere here and see if that does anything. And he has a Blood Moon. Okay, so yeah, now my stuff doesn't work. And let's see if I draw land at least. I do. So that means I can play Expedition Map for 3 mana. It's obviously very slow, but we can get to the ring eventually. And he just has to pass here with, yeah, because he's stuck at 2 lands, so that does nothing. Now he can play the Reckless Impulse, but so yeah, that's the he has the Shattering Spree here, which means I can't play my second Trinisphere yet. The way Trinisphere and Shattering Spree works is that it always just, like, even if you're paying extra, it just costs 3. So I'm like starting to draw more cards, play the second Trinisphere, and yeah, now he has to look for yet another Shattering Spree or a Braid or something. And essentially like this, or like a way to Belcher me. And essentially this Trinisphere plus Karn just takes over. Oh, this is the game where I draw the 2 wastes naturally. So I could get rid of the Blood Moon, and yeah, now I just have way too much mana. He does end up clearing my Trinisphere and can play a Medallion, but I just have so much stuff going on that I'll probably be able to like find an answer to anything. I guess I Stonebrain him, and that's probably good enough. I also have to disrupt the flute. So yeah, that was how that game went. It was like got kind of dicey, but honestly, the Blood Moon didn't do that much. I think maybe that was the issue here. Like if you had an Braid instead of Blood Moon, it would have been a lot better. So we move on to the next game. Yeah. Oh, that was. Oh yeah. So we move on to game 3 here. And for game 3, I bought in Stonebrain when I'm on the draw because I feel like it's too slow to get with Karn. And this hand is a turn 3 Tron where I can do the Stonebrain. And so I think I'm gonna keep this. It's pretty dicey though. Put the Eldrazi Temple on bottom because it does nothing, and so we just play out on map. And he goes Reckless Impulse here. Okay, so he's again just like trying to set up for something. And he goes, okay, yeah, so he just has a Blood Moon draw here. Just plays that out. He also, yeah, so he goes Ritual into Reckless Impulse into, so the Reckless Impulse like hits like, more stuff, and the Shattering Spree here he can cast next turn. So at least now the Blood Moon like shuts off my Tron. But he didn't really get much. Like, he's had to spend a lot of cards to land this Blood Moon here, which, like, is something we're gonna be fairly resilient to because we can just hardcast a Ring or hardcast a Stonebrain. So something really cool about the Shattering Spree though means that I can't play my Chalice of the Void, and I can't play my Cosmic Command. And if I had a Trinisphere, like I wouldn't be able to play that either because you'd just be able to kill it for free. So he goes Straggled Ridge, Flashback Straggled Ridge. And this is very scary because right now, if he has any land, plus a Chap Belcher, he has the perfect 7 mana. So that's like one of the advantages of Straggled Ridge. So I have this Stonebrain, and I realize I probably need to, like, I can't play Trinisphere here because if he has the Chap Belcher, like, I might just die. So I decide that I have to Stonebrain the Chap Belchers, and just hope that I don't die to like another part of the Storm combo. Like clearly he doesn't have a cost reducer, so like that's at least something. So yeah, we Stonebrain, naming Chap Belcher. Turns out he has no Chap Belchers in his hand, but he has a Wish, Shadow Skull Smashing, and a Desperate Ritual, and that is enough. So he can just cast the Ritual, wish for Chap Belcher, and play the Chap Belcher. So that's what happened here. So he just got the Chap Belcher from his sideboard instead, which, yeah, I mean, I could have avoided if I named Wish, but then I died to Chap Belcher, and yeah, it's kind of a rough spot. And now I need to have a Karn, otherwise I die. So I play a Ring just for the sake of it, but even though the Ring protects me, Chap Belcher can be activated at instant speed, and it doesn't actually matter. He just kills me. Yep, whoop, boom, I'm dead. We get to see how he sideboarded here. But I think he doesn't have a Braids in these games, right? No, he just has the Blood Moons, yeah. Alright. Well, so that was a very good showing of the of the wish for Chop Belcher there, like getting around my Stone Brain, not actually being able to hit him where it really hurts, and kind of also like stopping me from playing Trinisphere just by representing the Chop Belcher. So there's something to note there. Is like the part about looking scary has some value. So yeah, Nath ends up winning that match here. We go to match number 3. Or match number 4. So again, I win the die roll, but I let Nate play first. And here we have a turn 2 Trinisphere, so I have to keep. And uh, yeah, that definitely sets a damper on everything that's going on. So we have a Ruby Medallion here, and he's ready to go off the charge next turn. But once again, I do have the Trinisphere into yeah, the Trinisphere turn 2. And I don't know if his hand here was one that could potentially have tried to go off on turn 2. I'm not sure if he's like if he should, but the fact that I keep a 7, like snap keep a 7 card hand, I mean, I guess he doesn't know if I snap kept it or not, but the fact that I keep a 7 card hand on the draw in game 1, I have very few good things to do, so I'm gonna try and mulligan for this turn to Trinisphere, and I think I keep very few 7 card hands that do have them in game 1. Like post board, it's much easier to keep hands like a turn 3 Tron or something on the draw, because his deck is gonna be full of like stuff like Blood Moons or Shattering Sprees that will slow him down. It's like way less likely that he combo kills me early. And so anyways, he just goes Reckless Impulse here, but he hits the Chop Belcher, and I don't have a Karn. So next turn he just plays land, plays the Belcher, and yeah, I have 2 turns to draw a Karn to answer this. And I just draw another land here. So I just develop my Saga, so I have pressure, and he unfortunately bricks on land here. So instead, all he can do is just play yet another Rent Resolve, and he hits still not the land, but he hits another shot Belcher, so he has yet another shot at drawing the land here. And we we are just content to like make sagas here, like make construct tokens. The second Trinisphere doesn't do anything. This is game 1, but he like has the Metamorphose to even try and hit the land, bricks on land again, and yeah, now his 2 of his Chop Belchers are gone, and he unfortunately doesn't get there. But that was actually kind of scary. Like the fact that you need Trinisphere and Karn is a bit of a damper on this deck, but you know, you also like you really ask a lot of the Storm deck, and if they don't play Chop Belcher, like it's you get a lot of percentages just by playing it, like having all these free wins from a Trinisphere. Um, so yeah, that's worth noting here. Anyways, let's go on to the next game, and I keep a hand here. So this is one of those hands that's like, okay, I don't have a turn 3 Trinisphere, but I have the Disruptive Flute, which sometimes does something. And maybe his hand is slowed down, and I can like use the One Ring or something to beat a Blood Moon, for instance. In this game, I don't think he brought in the Blood Moons anymore. But he just went the turn 2 Charbel, sure, which is like so scary on this deck, right? It means you can just play a land and kill me next turn. But luckily for me, there's only 1 card in my deck that actually answers this, and it's exactly the Disruptive Flute. So I just play my Mind, play my Flute, and name Chop Belcher. So this acts as a Pithing Needle for the Chop Belcher. So now I just have to hope that he doesn't have a way to kill this. So he sets up with the Rent Resolve here. Can play a Rel next turn, but I have a Trinisphere ready now, so he's not going to be able to do that. I don't know why I played the Eldrazi Temple. Probably should have played Tower, so because I'm going to map next turn. Then I would have an extra mana. I guess it doesn't really matter. I have 5 mana regardless. Okay. So anyways, he does draw the Shattering Spree, and as you can see, he can replicate it for free. It'll cost 3 mana, and Trinisphere will be like, yep, that's fine. 3 mana is exactly what you need to pay. And so he can just clear off all my things. And now we're in a bind again, because we're just like, that's a Discharge Belcher. And I think I do not draw what I need. I bought it in a 1 Power Stone, and I'm just gonna try and do the ring again, but it doesn't work because he can just pass the turn and kill me in my upkeep. Okay, so that's the Shattering Spree there was really key. Like mostly just being able to kill the flute, but also taking a couple more artifacts in the like while he was at it was pretty nice here. And let's see if he did put in Blood Moons in this game as well. Okay, interesting. He has 3 Blood Moons and no braids. No, he does have a braid. Okay. Well, let's see how game 3 goes here. I feel like I remember that this was a close one. So yeah, I can't keep this hand. Chalice doesn't do very much. This hand has a Trinisphere, and I'm gonna be on the play for this last game, so we have to keep this. And yeah, we'll just see how it goes, if this is going to be fast enough. Turn 3 under play. And we can even cycle this Coslex command. But he starts by going, oh yeah, so he goes Ritual into Medallion into Rent Resolve. So it's like he could have just played the Medallion and passed, but this way he might get to like set up to have more resources to try and beat a Trinisphere here. And so I think it's pretty smart to like, normally you wouldn't throw away your resources this much, but like hedging your bets a little bit, like he knows that I'm gonna likely keep a hand with Trinisphere here, and so you just like want to get the cards out of your hand. So anyways, I play out the sphere here, and that means like, you know, he's now in a bit of trouble. His ritual no longer generates mana, and he just passes the turn here. I mean, he should have definitely played a second medallion here. Yeah, and that's, well, should he have definitely? No, he shouldn't. Oh, right, that's because I don't know his hand. That's what's going on here. Yeah, he's just passing here. I'm thinking you should have played a second medallion, because then you could kill my Karn. I'm gonna play Karn now and get Stonebrain, and he abrades my thing, my Tuning Sphere, at end of turn, and then I realized, oh, that's why he didn't play anything. Wow. Oops. Yeah, so I think honestly in that spot here, I should have been a little bit more aware that this is what he was gonna do. Right? Like he just passes. Like, I know he can cast a spell, he decides to pass. He's a rational human being. Like, you know, of course he has something. I know his deck list. I built his deck list. I should be able to figure out that a braid is there. And as a result, I think I should have played the ring. The ring makes it at least a little harder for him to combo. For the Belcher version, it's not that much harder. Like you basically just set up a Belcher plus 3 treasures from your Stragged Ridge, and then you pass the turn. So it's like there's kind of a built-in way to beat the ring. But at least it asks a bit more of him than just like a low resource combo. He only has 3 cards to be fair, right? So it's not the easiest for him to do it. And yeah, so we'll start to see him go off here. Metamorphose, Rent Resolve, finds a Ral, but he has to cast these cards to like try and flip it, and he loses the flips, but also it's not enough spells that it would even be that good to flip him anyway. So it's just like all kinds of confusing, honestly. And yeah, so he tries to go off there, bricks. You can see the issue with having to board in stuff like Shattering Spree and Abrades. Like you have to do it. They have been pretty good, but they also like break the combo. Like you don't just draw them when they're good. You also hit them doing your chains, and they kind of demand that your Storm deck is a bit more like compact and less reliant on these cards to function. And so yeah, like I don't know, the Belcher works really well with that plan. It plays way better with hate cards because like it's a 1-card combo. Um, but uh, but you know, there's still some like inherent weakness there, and yeah, the Ral, you know, just doesn't have enough spells here to be able to flip, and has to pass the turn. And so I don't know what I do here. I guess I Stonebrain his wishes or something, and pass the Karn. And now he just has a Ral that's sitting around doing not much. So yeah, I think that's how the game went. Definitely very Trinisphere based, based around the answers that Storm could play. Ended up being 3-1 for Tron. I'm not sure it's like as representative as it should be, but maybe the Belcher deck just like didn't, like maybe you actually do lose a bit of consistency by adding the Belchers. In my internal Goldfish testing, I found that the Belcher deck was actually like a bit more consistent at doing the turn 3 kills because it bricked less often. You just like needed fewer things to happen. But it's hard to say. And when you're goldfishing on Magic Online, you also have the issue that you know, all your that like you're gonna be in the draw in every match because that's how the program works. It's always put you on the draw. So like you always have an extra card, and it like definitely makes it easier to go off sometimes. So yeah. Anyways, that's those are the games, and a pretty scary matchup, but honestly quite interesting how the Belgium changes that. And yeah, maybe the games weren't super interesting in themselves in terms of like decision intensity, but you know, there's something to be said about having decks that are a little bit lighter on decisions and where it's smaller things that matter. I'm sad that you couldn't see the coolest game we played, but yeah, that's how it goes. Anyways, bye.